Hello everyone, LJ Young, the founder of Sixth Sense. And I wanted to start off by saying that, first of all, welcome to the channel. And I just want to make sure everyone knows that I am very humbled about how fast this channel is growing. And I'm just here telling my truth. It's just absolutely humbling and thankful, and just to let you guys know, all my followers, I will never take it for granted because I know what it took to get me here. Now, if you're new to the channel, the basis of this channel is telling my story about being in a 6-year relationship with a malignant, covert narcissist. And when I say malignant, she was very violent, very, very violent. And how I survived it and left it, and the product of what you're looking at today, what you're seeing right now, is a man that was born from narcissistic abuse. But I embrace mine as a blessing because I've had so many positive things happen since I left this narcissist. The positivity is just overflowing. But I realize now that I'm here, not many get here. So I'm going to be an example for a lot of people that may be in the narcissistic abuse right now, maybe not know what it's called, maybe lost just like I was because I didn't know about any of that until I got out. I look at it as God purposely put her on my journey because there are some things that we did together that did not exist before, but they exist now. And I know for a fact it wouldn't have happened if I had not met her, and vice versa. I know for a fact God knew I was strong enough to get out. Now, being trauma bonded to a narcissist, you have to be a very strong person to break through it, because a lot of people don't make it here. Okay? This channel, Sixth Sense, is going to be an example. It's going to be an example of what happens when you get through. When you fight through the pain, when you finally leave that narcissist and go no contact, because going no contact is the only way. I know when you're in the narcissistic fog, you don't know what's going on. Everything in the relationship is the exact opposite of what you want. But that's how they live in their world. Pure chaos, and you don't understand why. I'm here to help you realize, yes, there is something wrong. You're in a narcissistic fog. And if you can break it, and the only way to break it is go no contact. I know when you're in a narcissistic fog, they treat you like dirt and do everything and cheat on you, but they don't want to let you go. I know it's weird. You have to leave them. That is the only way to do it, and you cannot tell them. You have to leave them. No contact at all. That is the only way to get here. This is the only way. And when you get here, you will feel the power in it. This is a gift. This is 100% a gift. Like I always reiterate, narcissists don't know they're narcissists. The only way for one to know they're a narcissist, that takes self-reflection, self-accountability, self-everything, which they do not have. You have to be alone with yourself, which they do not do, ever. They always have to have a source of supply. This is why they don't know they're narcissists. They'll never know. It doesn't matter. You can tell them all day you want, which I suggest you never do. Never call them a narcissist. Don't. Just see them. And don't say it, okay? They don't know what that is. Maybe they'll catch on, maybe they won't, but don't say it. Don't ever say it. Just leave them. Now, I call this one the narcissistic fog because, and you might even hear me laugh about some of these stories because I want you guys to understand something because of the way I feel about my narcissistic experience. That is the cocoon of me. When I tell these stories, And you guys might hear me laugh, and it might not be funny to you because you haven't broken through. You got feelings still involved. But when you get to the other side and you replay these stories of the things that you allowed this narcissist to do to you in a relationship, you're going to laugh because you know that's never going to ever happen again. Okay? So I'm going to give you guys a couple of examples, okay? And you guys will understand this. So we're in yet another argument in the house. Of course, the narcissist gets to yell and scream and say all the vulgar, disrespectful things they want to say, but you better not say it, and you better not yell, and you better not yell in their face. But this time, I say, you know what? I'm gonna yell back in her face. I'm not gonna touch her, but I'm gonna just yell back in her face. So I gave it to her back because normally I just didn't say nothing. I just was like, oh, okay, let me just wait till she just tires herself out and be done, right? This time I went to yell back in her face. And guess what happened? Pow! Right across my face. Slapped me right across my face. I was not expecting that. When she normally hit me, she would hit me all over my body, which is not any better. It's just funny even telling the story. But she said, pow! I was in shock. Sure was. I was in shock. I was in so much shock. I was in shock and frustration because I took everything in my power not to do it back to her. So you know what I did? This is crazy. You know what I did? So I walked to the kitchen, sat down in the chair and started crying in frustration, not knowing what the hell was going on. Let me tell you what happened here. This was the weirdest shit that I've ever seen in my life, okay? I'm sitting in the kitchen crying out of frustration, not knowing what I'm going to do to get out of just all these emotions, right? And guess what happened? She came in the kitchen and was peeking in the kitchen, looking at me crying. She was peeking in there like this, like she was watching. I was like, what the It kind of, even that in the middle of my frustration, I was like, what did I just see? She was peeking in the kitchen, watching me. Now that I'm out and I know what narcissists do, yeah, that's what they do to bring you into their world. She was checking on me to see if I was coming into her world, see if I was going to start hitting her back. Because you better believe the way she hit, you better believe a lot of men, relationships she's been in a relationship where men hit her back. That is clear. That is crystal clear. All right, these narcissistic fog moments, man, these are kind of weird when I think back at them right now, right? So, all right, here we go. Here's another one. You know, we was in the house in the middle of getting in another argument again, right? Now, normally I was trained, damn, that is crazy. I was trained to hide my wallet and my keys. Now, remember, that's the old me. That's why the shit's funny, because there's no way I would allow any of that. I was normally to hide my wallet and my keys because she would take them and hide them to where I couldn't leave. She would always try to trap me there to stay with her arguing and stuff, right? She would never want me to leave. But anyway, this time I said, you know what? I'm not going to hide my keys this time. I'm just going to leave my keys there. And I didn't do anything, right? So I remember got done arguing or whatever, right? And then everything was calmed down. I decided I'm going to go to the store. So I got in the truck, I got in my truck, went to the store, picked up some things, came back. I went to go open the door. I noticed the house key wasn't on my key ring. That was missing. The key was missing. So I knock on the door. Okay, listen. Now, man, this is crazy. Narcissists are crazy, right? Knock on the door. She opens the door. She looks at me and says, how come you didn't use your key? I looked at her. I was like, what? I said, because you took it. She was like, no, I didn't. I said, are you saying you didn't take the house key off my key ring? That's the only key that's missing on my key ring. Do you know she argued with me about that? And she said she didn't. And then, I kid you not, then later on, guess what? It was back on my key ring. I said, so you put it back on my key ring? I didn't touch your keys. What? I kid you not. Okay. All right, here's another one. Damn, that's crazy. Remember, that's the cocoon of me, okay? And if you're in this narcissistic fog, people, it's going to sound ridiculous when you get out, right? So here's another one. We got into another argument again, right? And we were upstairs. We had our phones in our hand. I was like, let me see your phone. Give me your phone. I said, she's like, give me your phone. I said, here. I said, she said, give me your phone then if you want my phone. I said, here you go. She was like, no, you can't have my phone. I said, give me your phone. No. She was like, no. I said, oh, okay. I kid you not. I said, oh, okay. By you not giving me your phone, I already know what's up. And again, and she used to always cheat on me. I already knew anyway, right? So I said, screw it. Forget it. I go downstairs. She comes down about 20 minutes later. I kid you not. She says, here, you can look at my phone now. I was like, what? I felt like I was in a twilight zone. I'm like, wait a minute. Are you showing me you already deleted everything I was going to see? Now, of course you want to give me no, I didn't. I didn't delete anything. I was like, what? Where am I at? That's what I literally said to myself. Where am I at? I didn't realize that I was in the narcissistic fog. All of that is not normal. That's not normal. That's narcissistic. That's narcissism. That's those people. When you get here, listen, this is why this channel is going to be different than all the other channels talking about narcissism. I'm telling you, mine was a gift. This was a gift. I have so many positives on this side. Once you break through, which many do not make it, once you get here, the world is unlimited. There's nothing that stops me now. She was the only, listen, in order to get here, let me make sure you guys understand this. In order to get here, you can't have any fears right here. F.E.A.R.S. You can't have any fears. False evidence appearing real psychologically. Okay? You can't have none here. These are gone. Luckily in my life, when I met her, I didn't have any. I didn't have any fears here. I was already good. I was totally good. She was the only one. And I remember when I used to get in relations, I kid you not, and I know it's the version of me right now that was talking through me, through my cocoon. There was a couple times when we were arguing, I would say to her out loud, out of nowhere, you're holding me back. You're in my way. I kept saying that. You're dragging me down. You're slowing me down. I used to say that all the time. She wasn't even trying to hear me. I was just talking to myself. That was me talking through me. The me today, talking through the cocoon me. She's holding you back. Yes, she's cheating on you. Yep, she sure is. Oh yeah, her and the ex-boyfriend, they're still messing around, obviously. She's doing everything for him. They're still messing around. They've been messing around the whole time. But I was so trauma bonded, I was ignoring it. I think we all, when we're in that trauma bond, there's always a version of us that's saying, that's not right. They shouldn't be touching you. They shouldn't be hitting you. They shouldn't be cheating on you. They could bring you back some diseases. You better be careful. What about your children? They could take you away from earth. Just bring you back something you can't get rid of. All that stuff is going through your mind, but the trauma bond holds you back. My trauma bond was overriding all my logic. But you guys got to remember, to break a trauma bond, that's one of the hardest things to do in history. People don't really understand that. That's a very, very difficult thing to do because you're physically, emotionally, and psychologically tied to the narcissist. Sex too. Sex is powerful. People paying for it. That tells you how powerful that is. And then you throw in the love of emotions, and then you throw in all the other psychological stuff. That's very difficult to break. Not many people can do it. Not many people do it. Some people just live with it I've been in it for 20, 50 years. I might as well, this and that. Kids grown. We got a house and a business. All the excuses. Because when I asked God to help me, God said, you got to let go of all that stuff. Everything. I was like, what about my truck? What about the business? The da-da-da. He said, you got to let it all go. Everything. Truly let it go. Not pretending to, not just saying it just to be saying it. In your mind, and I was prepared to let it all go. Everything. I'll start over. Whatever. I'll do it. Anything, I'll do anything to save my life. Anything. That's what I said. And then God helped me all the way through the process and said, okay, look, LJ, look what's on the other side. Look what was waiting for you. Look what was on the other side of all this testing and something, all this stuff you had to learn. Because in order for me to know, listen, in order for me to be here in front of you right now with this channel, I had to go through that because I didn't know narcissists existed. That's why I was with one, because I didn't know it. You think I'll ever be with one again? Absolutely not. I can see them from 10 miles away now. I just got to listen to how they speak, or what they talk about, or what, just life, or how you feel about your parents, just casual questions, just to hear how they respond. Hey, what happened in your past relationships? Was it everybody else's fault? Oh yeah, it was everybody's. Okay. All right. Nothing to do with you. Nope. Mm-mm. Okay. So crazy. Now I think about one time we were arguing again, up and down, and up. Even that part is addicting, up and down, right? I remember one time I must have been, when I think about myself back then, because I was like, and I swear to you guys, I was saying this to him. I was saying, maybe I should stop having sex with her because I'm getting confused. She is treating me like purity dog shit. And I'm having sex with the person that's treating me bad. I'm sharing, listen, she's abusing the very body I'm sharing with her, and she's enjoying it. She's abusing it and she's enjoying it sexually. I was like, okay, maybe I should stop having sex. And this is towards the end too. I think she could tell I must have been snapping out of it because she was trying to desperately have sex with me. She was saying some weird stuff. I was like, you know what? I've been talking to God. God said, and I swear to you guys, this is what she said. She said, I was like, I was saying this to her. I was like, God was, not having sex. She was like, no, God wants us to take a shower. She said that. She said, God wants us to take a shower. I was like, what? That didn't even make any sense to me. I was like, what? God wants us to take a shower? Why would, and I was confused. I was like, what? Because you guys got to understand, they take a lot of energy. Sex takes a lot of energy from you, because you got to remember, when you climax, right, it takes a lot of energy build up and then boom, right? So that's energy build up, but they just take it. Don't you notice that every time you're done? Because I noticed this every time I was done having sex with her, I felt really weird. And I almost felt like I shouldn't have did that, because it's weird. Because sometimes when they think, you'll have a problem and then you'll have sex with them. But then at the end of the sex session, they think it's all is forgiven because you had sex with them. Because she would say stuff like that too. She would say, oh, if you were still mad, then why'd you have sex with me? I was like, what? But when she was saying that was telling me to say, you know what? Let me stop doing that. So I was saying this in my mind. Let me stop having sex with her so she can stop saying that. That's what I was thinking. But had I stopped having sex with her earlier, I would have woke up quicker. That's how I feel. Because I could tell when I started holding back, she was getting nervous or something. You could tell her, I could tell she was ramping up on her supply, because sometimes I would think about, like, when we first met and she was love bombing me, she would be up on the phone with me all night, just staying up with me all night. She had to go to work and all this stuff. I was like, now remember, I didn't know about the love bombing stuff, right? But she was staying up with me all night. But towards the end of the relationship, I was mostly downstairs sleeping on the couch. I slept down on the couch a lot. But then I noticed every morning she was really, really tired. She's like, oh, I stayed up late. Now that I think about it, she was grooming somebody else, because she was doing the same thing she was doing with me, staying up all night, talking on the phone. Sometimes she was getting just really, really bold, because I think she must have thought she must could see I was waking up. So she had to ramp up whoever this other supply was, right? Because she would come home. Listen, I kid you not. She would come home, park, and sit out in the car on the phone for 2 hours. Sure would. And wouldn't think nothing of it. Wouldn't say nothing. Come in the house like it was nothing. I was like, wow, you really don't give a fuck. You don't care, do you? I was like, wow. And that, the version of me, I'm looking through the eyes of the cocoon me. I just remember hearing that in the back of my mind, like, damn, she thinks she got you like that. I remember hearing that in my mind. That's me today. I know that was me saying that. She thinks she got you like that, Linnell. She really do believe that. Yeah, she does. And she's getting worse. And I used to say this to her too. I used to say, we need to stop this arguing, because I said, once I stop looking at you the way I'm looking at you, and I used to say that to her, and I stop looking at you like that, there is no coming back for me. I'm leaving. That's it. There's no, hey, we can try it again and try. No, I don't do that. I don't do none of that. Once it's over, it is over, period. And I knew, it was so crazy when I was trauma bonded, I knew deep down inside, I said, she's going to push me to that point. I was terrified deeply, because I knew once I reached here, what you guys are looking at today, there's no going back. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Once God helped me and I chose him, I swear to you, everybody, listen, everything just flows like a free, uninterrupted river of positivity. Look at this channel. Look at this channel. You guys in narcissistic abuse, coming out of it, getting through it. You guys know these stories cannot be faked. You can hear if I'm faking. You would know immediately, oh, he's full of shit. He's not. He didn't go through no. You know when you went through it. I'm telling you. And normally people wouldn't even tell these embarrassing stories. Oh my God, you let a woman slap in your face and you didn't punch? No, I didn't. She was trying to turn me into her. Like, if you're in one of these relationships right now, and you're especially you men, if you're letting your girlfriend or your wife hit you because she's a woman, and think, you better stop that right now. You better stop it. She's going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And maybe one day she's going to get that button to where you're going to turn around and hit her back. And guess what she's going to say? Now you're like me, because you will be, because you hit her. You will be. There's nothing you can say. What are you going to say? No, I'm not. I only did it once. It doesn't matter. Even though they've did it 50,000 times, right? All you need to do is once, and then they'll take it and put it into their category of things what they used to. You know how in arguments, they always use all this different stuff and they talk randomly for hours? I had to put mine on a timer. You know how when you get in a discussion and they just ramble and ramble and ramble and ramble and ramble I said, you got 10 minutes. You got 10 minutes to put, oh, you trying to treat me like a child and this and that. I said, I don't care what you say. You got 10 minutes. And then it's my turn. And of course, I never get my turn, so I wasn't really cared about it. I just gave her 10 minutes and she would storm upstairs. Oh, I don't want to hear what you got to say. I'd be like, I already expected that. I just wanted 10 minutes. You out of here. See ya. Upstairs, back on, talking to one of her boyfriends. One of her supplies. I didn't care as long as she was away from me. I knew I was getting close to being out. I knew it. I just didn't know when. I had to ask God to help me. When you get here, put it this way. I'm going to use this channel as what happens when you get here. When you have no more fears here. False evidence appearing real psychologically. Nothing. All this has been taken care of. All of it. All of it's taken care of. Nothing's there. Not many people get here. All this got to be gone. This is what happens when you're one of the soldiers that push all the way through. You don't give up. You say, I know there's some light on the other side. I know this narcissist tried to dim my light. They did. Oh, yeah, she tried. Oh, yeah, she tried to dim. She tried to put my light out. Believe that, all the way to the end. You hear me? all the way to the end. She didn't even know. Once I gave it to God, she was helping me all the way. She didn't even know she was helping me. I was like, damn, would she really take all the money out the bank account? Yes, she would. Sure would. Will she really try to slander your name when you start a new business? Yep, sure would. I'm not. Why? Because they hate you. She hates me. Because of who I am. Because I'm a shining light. Because she was always in the dark. Always upstairs. Beautiful sunny days. Upstairs, curtains closed. Blackout. Listen, not regular curtains. Blackout curtains, people. Blackout curtains. I would come upstairs. Hey, won't you want to crack this? No, close that. I don't want no sun coming in. Now I know why. Always, listen, always upstairs, curtains closed, depressed. Always. When you have a person like that and just always, they're always talking about they're depressed, you got to turn to them and say, are you going to figure out why you're depressed? What, I know, I hear you saying it all the time, but what are you going to do to fix it? When you're trauma bonded, you don't know to say those things. I'm just on the outside of it. If you're in it, I'm on the outside of it to say, these are the questions you need to be asking your depressed narcissist. What are you going to do to fix your depression? What are you doing what have you found the core of it? What's causing you to do that? Because I'm not depressed and you are. So that means you have a problem that you need to fix. I don't think, are you expecting me just to live with your depression and you're not think about it. That's crazy. Living with somebody with depression, but they ain't figuring out why they got depression. So they're trying to put their... Do you understand why I keep saying that's never going to happen to me again? Ever. That's never going to happen to me again. Because I can see them. Now that I've gone through the narcissist, gained a superpower on top of that, removing the only fear. Because I tell you, my whole cocoon of that thing, she was the only negative part in the whole equation. I promise you that. When her and I were together, we had a business together, so we didn't have regular jobs. So we was together every single day of those 6 years. No 40 hours apart from each other. We was together every single day. That's how tough my cocoon was. I was just intertwined. But God knew I could get out, and I did, and I'm here. And I thank God for the relationship. Thank you. All these rewards are waiting for me, everything. And this is the main one. This channel is it. This is it. This is the connection to millions of people around the world, billions, because it doesn't matter what country you're in. It doesn't matter what language you speak. Narcissists are narcissists. You don't have to know another person's language to see if somebody's treating another person like garbage. You could just look. No matter how big this channel gets, no matter how many millions I make, I will be always humbled by you guys. I will always be humbled. When I hear people say, hey, LJ, you saved my life, I'm like, if you've never heard nobody say that to you, a total stranger, you're not ready for it. I promise you you're not ready for it. You're like, what? I'm just telling my truth. That's all it takes. Because I think about it. It would have been nice to I don't know how I would come across a person like myself while in a narcissistic fog, but it would have been nice to be able to come across somebody that's speaking like a person that was in it and how they did it, what they did to get out of it. It starts here. When I say get out of it, I know everybody's physical situation is different, but this part doesn't matter right here. This is what I'm talking about. You make up in your mind right here, you're ready to go. Everything else will fall into place. I promise you that, but it starts here. If you're not serious, it's not gonna work. Once you make up in your mind, say, okay, I've had enough. I promise you, everything will start to fall into place. You just got to make up your mind. I know it hurts. I know it's going to hurt. Not only is it going to hurt psychologically, but it's going to go through, your body's going to go through a physical withdrawal too. And you have to do this by yourself, because that's what I did. I didn't know what was happening because I'd never been on drugs in my life. I'd never been on drugs, but when I think about it, and when more of I read about being trauma bonded and stuff like that, it's the equivalent, because I've seen many intervention shows, and that's exactly what it felt like. Sweats and shakes and all that other crazy stuff until you get out of it. Once you get out of it, you're a butterfly. I love you all. Thank you guys so much for following. It humbles me. It really does. It really does. It really does. It's just, it's moving. It's moving at the speed of light. It's moving at the speed of light squared. That's what it's doing.